Greetings, our viewers and listeners. Welcome to Business Chronicles. My name is Solomon Tumwesigye, and I'm your host here for the Business Chronicles podcast at Studio 84. Studio 84 is a podcast space set up to facilitate individuals and organizations tell their stories and along the way position themselves as authorities at what they do, because we believe that everyone is an authority at something and has a story to tell. Today, I'm very privileged to host a lady, senior citizen, very young at heart. She will tell you that she is a medical doctor. She is an author. I'm giving her her very massive introduction, her massive profile and CV, an attempt. She'll give me marks to tell me whether I'm doing her justice. But she's an author to this book, The Hero Within. She wrote it a while ago. It's a bit of a profile of her life story. But her latest is 12 Fundamental Soft Skills for Personal, Business, and Professional Success. Dr. Kengeya-Kayondo. I don't know how much I've injured your introduction, Doctor, but like all my guests, I will ask you to introduce yourself the way you like to be known to our viewers and listeners, and then let's have this conversation. You're welcome to Business Chronicles, Dr. Jen.
Thank you so much, Solomon, for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes.
And I think you did well with the introduction. But yes, a medical doctor. Did my bit in the medical world.
Yeah.
Spent over 40 years in health research.
Yes.
And then put on new tires.
Yes.
Not tired.
Not.
So I now I do soft skills training.
Yes.
For youth, for business people, for professionals, for companies, for organizations. And soft skills, of course, are your interpersonal skills, which we call also relational skills.
Yes.
But also your self-discipline skills, your the way you communicate, the way you manage your time, the way you manage your emotions, your critical thinking, the way you make decisions, the way you negotiate, the way you work as a team. So put together, although they are given this name soft,
Yes.
they are absolutely essential.
Yes.
After everything is done, your degree, your master's, your whatever, those can get you into a job.
Yes.
But what keeps you there
are the soft skills.
are the soft skills.
Doctor.
Yes. So now I am Dr. Soft Skills.
If you're in spaces that where Dr. Jen belongs, she's known as the soft skills doctor. I mean, I don't know how many people are doctors in two lifetimes in one. You're a medical doctor, you're a soft skills doctor. Before we get into this conversation, our viewers and listeners, I told you about Studio 84, but if you'd like to reach out to us, hit us up on the number below. We can help you from conceptualizing your podcast to, even if you have a concept and you just want production, we are your guys, located along Lithuli Avenue in Bugolobi. We got you for any podcast production, whether you have a concept or you don't. We can walk the whole journey with you. Doctor, the question on my mind: how does a human being with a rich background of medicine, as a medical doctor, ditch all that? And I use the word ditch carefully because when we were growing up, being a doctor was like the epitome of success. To come and teach people soft skills, how did we end up here?
Yes. Long story.
Yes.
But actually, it's from my own experience.
Yeah.
And I have told this story several times.
Yeah.
I was young. I was highly qualified for my age. By 35, I already had my master's and everything done.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I was also blessed. I was given a responsibility to start and lead a research program.
Yeah.
Now it's one of the biggest programs in the country. It's at the Uganda Virus Research Institute. It's
Wow.
called the Medical Research Council Program on HIV/AIDS.
Wow.
It was at the beginning of the AIDS epidemic. So I was sailing like a hot cake at that stage.
Yeah.
But now the role they gave me was to start, lead, grow, manage a program. I was an epidemiologist. I was going to hire other epidemiologists to do the epidemiology. Me, I was going to lead the organization.
Yes.
And throughout my training, nobody had taught me leadership. Nobody had taught me management. Nobody had taught me how to lead, to start a team. I had no HR skills.
Yes.
I had no negotiation skills. I was given even a huge budget without skills for money management.
Yes.
Then I realized that, you know what? This is going to be tough. Because in my head, I had this toolbox full of all these heavy tools, but some of the spaces empty.
Yes.
And now those are the spaces I was going to need to do the job. Tears, of course. Prayer, of course. Mistakes, of course. So I started the program. I had a counterpart. It's a British-Uganda bilateral program.
Yes.
So they get a head from the upside, and I was the
someone
head
from
from
this
this
side.
side.
Yes.
But when you are the local head, you are the head.
Yes.
Because you are the one who know the people, who know, whom they look up to
Yes.
to be the lead. And I didn't have any of these skills. So, long story short, obviously I did the job. I started the program. But from that moment, I realized it is possible, and it happens all the time. You can finish school very highly qualified technically, but on the soft skills side, you know nothing. And learning by mistake, rather learning by experience.
Yes.
You learn by mistakes.
Yes.
You learn by hurting others.
Yes.
You learn by creating scars,
Yes.
both for yourself, but for the people you work with. So I knew from the beginning that this was a gap, and this gap bothered me. And everywhere I went, I saw people suffering just like me.
Then you had not pointed to the gap as lack of soft skills.
I didn't know what they are called.
You just knew there was a gap.
I knew there was a gap. I knew I was not ready for that level of leadership. I didn't have what it took. And everywhere I went, I saw people in leadership position,
yes,
in managerial position, which obviously you didn't have to do DNA test to see that they were not ready. They struggled on the way I struggled. So all along through my career, it kept bothering me. And in my heart, I told myself, if by the time I'm available, this gap is still there, that's where I'm going to head. So I knew what I wanted to retire into.
Yes.
At the beginning of my career, basically.
Yes. I love that. And as you're explaining, Doctor, what was coming to mind is how many people out there in public offices, in offices of responsibility.
Absolutely. Yes.
Are given tools, huge budgets, and they have they're making mistakes.
Yes, yes.
For lack of soft skills.
Yes, for lack of soft skills.
When you think about it, Doctor, a huge percentage of our problems then are attributed to lack of soft skills.
Absolutely. And now there is increasing evidence that, let's say, 70% of your success in your personal life, in your business life, in your work life, in your political life, in whatever life you have, will depend on soft skills.
Marriage life, relationships,
Chips,
family, everywhere.
Yes.
Doctor, so at this point, I'm keen to know. I know our viewers and listeners, Dr. Jen is, you can see from the looks of her age, she has a long life story. And most of her life story is from her work, her experience. I'm going to drop a link to her life story. I know she has done an interview about her life story up here in the top left corner. So click it after watching this, then you can watch her whole life story and background. But the question I'm keen to ask now, at what point do you discover and do you decide and wake up? How do you turn that situation around? Because so far what you've painted is a gloomy picture of this young woman with a huge budget, with responsibility, with authority, and a gap.
Yes. So for 10 years I led this thing and grew it.
Yes.
Then I got a job with the World Health Organization.
Yes.
To work in Geneva. Now, there you're meeting people from across the world. Then I saw that, it's not just me. It's not just my country. This thing is all over.
Oh.
Yes. The problem is all over. I mean, you could see people in leadership position, no idea how to lead. But fortunately, the organization used to take us for trainings. So I remember this particular training, they took us to Tunisia. 3 days fully covered with the best trainers in the world. Leadership, communication, time management, all these things I'm struggling to teach people. Then we went back to our workplace. For a month or maybe 2 months, we tried to follow what we had learned. But very quickly, we reverted back
to default settings.
Our default setting. Then I realized that once somebody's habits and way of life are already set, it's very hard to change them, to change their character, to change their behavior, to change the way they act, to change the way they think. That's why I think the earlier one can learn these skills, the better. So that's why I have big passion basically for youth. But fortunately, this country, most people fall in the youth category. So the catchment population is really big. So most of us, even the people we are employing, majority are young people. So I realized that for them to grow on you, these soft skills, you need to start early. So I think it's better. In fact, even as early as primary school,
yes,
even at home, to start already thinking that there are two sides to this development. You need the technical hard side, but at the same time, you need the soft skills so that when you marry them,
yes,
you are a more rounded person. So for me, I think the earlier we can get them taught, the earlier we can get them learned,
yes,
the more part of our nature they will become.
Doctor, at this point, I don't know whether you have painted a more gloomy picture, because from what I hear is that some of us are already a gone case, because if we didn't have the soft skills you're talking about,
it's harder.
It's harder.
Yes, okay. But it's possible. And they are completely learnable. For example, you think I used to speak like this?
No.
Yes, I learned it. I practice it. I repeat it each time. Now, even if you just catch me on the street, I'm good. It's become part and parcel of me. Even you.
Yes.
I don't think you started off like
no.
this. So while it's harder to learn them when you're older,
yes,
it is still possible. It's a question of mindset. It's a question of getting the opportunity to learn them. And it's also a question of learning them the right way, because there are so many ways to learn these things. You can have a lecture, you can read, you can see, you can experience. By teaching them yourself, you learn them more. So there are many ways to learn. That's why for me, I present a big menu. That's how I end up writing. Because while we give the lectures, we give practical exercises, but somebody needs to be able to read it. Somebody needs to be able to teach it to another person. Somebody needs to, then it becomes part of your nature. But again, we need to be able to expect them.
Yes.
So like now, if you look at any job description, a very small paragraph of we need somebody with a degree and then the next half page is about all these soft skills expectation. We need somebody who can work on their own without supervision. We need the problem solver. We need someone who can work as a team. All those are soft skills. So right now, workforce expect them. The environment has changed. So we need to be able to evaluate people on them.
Yes.
So that when you do your team evaluation, you are looking out, how did you perform in the time management area, in the communication area, in the problem solving area, not just to say how much money did you bring in.
Yes.
So if we were able to make them part and parcel of our life, that for your children, you just don't see them grade A, grade B, grade C, but are they also learning these skills? If the school is not teaching them, can I find them opportunities? How they can it be our dinner table discussion?
Yes.
Can I start to be an example to them so that they see how I live, they see how I work, so that they can learn from me?
I see.
Until we reach that stage where we realize that they are not a choice. They are mandatory.
I get it.
Yes, they are mandatory.
Doctor, let's dive into this book without giving too much away. For someone, why should anyone try to get this book?
Yes. So, as I said, there are different ways to learn.
Yeah.
So, one way that we have traditionally learned is by reading.
Yes.
Right from babyhood, ba,
Yeah.
be, be, bo,
bo.
until then we could read book, pen, So reading and learning is part and parcel of each other. So I believe that if we expect people to learn soft skills, they need to have resources so that they can apply that read-learn capability.
Yes.
So that was the reason I wrote this book.
Yeah.
Because I know that we are giving trainings in other ways, but one way to learn is by reading. Why it is also powerful is that you can learn at your own pace, in your own time, and then you can learn, you can go back. A lecture, you can't always go back to it, back to it. No. But a book, you can go back to it, you can go back to it. If it's your own book, you can highlight. You can lend it to somebody else. You can read it with other people. You can read out to other people. So I think a book is really, really powerful. So I kept saying, what's the best way to reach as many people as possible without my company being there, or me physically being there, or a trainer being there? And one way to reach people is by writing.
So, Doctor, now that raises my other concern. I'm sure you've heard of this unfortunate thinking and line of thinking that if you want to hide something from an African or Ugandan in this case, put it in here. So in case you ever doubted how you could hide soft skills further from Ugandans, you just did it. Going by that unfortunate saying,
Yeah.
What do you have to say about? Because now you have to first teach us the soft skills of reading before you can send us to the book.
Yes. So it's reading, actually, it is the statement you are saying is absolutely sad.
Very sad.
I can understand somebody who is illiterate,
Yes.
who never learned how to read.
Yes.
But what I can't understand is somebody who is literate, who knows how to read and falls in that category
Yes.
you are describing. And now with the phones, and we are really getting very bad at it.
Yes.
Yes. So will I reach everyone? Probably not. Can I reach you and your children? I'm sure I can. Can I reach some of the viewers here? I'm sure I can. So I am targeting those people who can read.
Yes.
But also, this thing is changing. Life changes. You know, this book will never die.
No.
Yes. Once I have put it out there, it's a permanent legacy.
Yes,
I
it
will
is.
go,
Yes.
but this book will stay. How many books have you read of people who died long ago? You don't even know them.
1900 agreement for
Yes,
starters.
yes, you know. So maybe right now it may be a constraint that people
Yeah.
don't read as much as we expect, but the next generation may be better. The other generation might be better. But also the way I have written it, and you will try it,
Yes.
once you open it, there is a way it wants you to read more and more
and more.
and more and more. It's simple language, it's flows.
Yes.
The way I'm a storyteller by
Yes.
nature, it's like a story. It's very nicely written.
Yes.
So again, I'm hoping that it will be attractive for people. But I'm also hoping that sooner rather than later, it will be recognized as a textbook.
Yes.
Because when it is a textbook, students don't have a choice.
They have to
They
read
have
it.
to read it. And that's where my mind thinks it will become a textbook. It will be in school library. It will be on students to read lists. It will be in university bookshops. So that eventually people have to read it because the knowledge in it is unique and special and perhaps the only one they can lay their hands on.
So, Doctor,
this nature.
I agree with you entirely on that one. And I also like to think that the 12 fundamental soft skills are timeless.
Absolutely timeless, yes. They will be there long, long after you and me are gone.
Because they fill the gap that you felt decades ago.
Yes. And
They applied
still
now and they apply
they-
in the future.
Yes.
Doctor, what are some of the 12 fundamental soft skills, just some of them, that you have seen lack most, for example, or that you've encountered, through your trainings, whether in corporate offices or young people? Do they differ, young people to older people? What should we worry about most, for example?
Yeah. So in this book, the way and how I structured it is how I think, is that self-awareness
Yes.
is absolutely important. You need to know your worth. Until you know your worth, you really can't know what you are striving for. So you need to be able to say, this is who I am.
Yes.
I know myself. This is where I'm headed. I have some goals. And these goals can be in all aspects of your life. Like us, we say you have to have your business goals, you have to have your company goals, you have to have your personal goals. You need to know myself, this is who I am, and this is where I'm heading.
Yes.
So that's some of the issues I bring up here. The second point is mindset. If you have a mindset which tells you you can't, you will never.
Then you won't.
You are going nowhere.
Then you will go nowhere.
Yes, you are finished.
Then you will be finished.
Yes. But if you have a learning mindset, a not yet mindset, I may not be there yet.
Yes.
But I can learn. I can get help. I can improve. I'm on track. I may not yet have this, but if others can have it, so can I. Mindset. Absolutely, absolutely important. So I go into that as well. Then I go into the area of your own personal leadership. You have to lead yourself.
Yes.
Because even if you are a little baby, parents are telling you, walk, move, In life, you have to be able to lead yourself.
Yes.
Personal leadership is one very, very important skill I go into here. It has very many different aspects. You need already to be able to take decisions. So what's the process for taking decisions? You need to be able to have self-accountability.
Yeah.
You need to be able to have your own self-discipline, self-determination, self-drive. That personal leadership is one skill I focus on a lot. And then, of course, you have the interpersonal skills, your relationship skills.
Yes.
How do I relate to people? How do I work as a team? How do I communicate and listen to others? So again, I package that one as well. Then I go into things like, how do you manage your resources?
Yes.
The resources they can be money, they can be your intelligence.
Time.
They are also your time.
Yes.
They are also your relationships.
Yes.
How do you manage those resources such that they give you power? It's a very, very, very important skill.
Yes.
Then I end up with, how do you make yourself self-sustaining?
Yes.
In which case you need to think, how do I work? How do I do my business? How do I take care of my funding? Again, to be self-sustaining. So the way I structure the book, it flows into different
One
ways.
skill into another.
Another.
Yes.
And it's not just looking at this particular skill
No.
in isolation. It's packaging as a root of success in your personal, in your work, and in your business life.
Doctor, most of the people who sit in that chair, as we have this conversation, by the time it ends, it's evident that a lot of how they were raised exhibits itself in what they eventually turn out to be.
Yes.
How does what I have said relate to an individual's soft skills?
Yes.
And how then it affects them. Some things happen in this country, doctor, and you look at the people that are making them happen and you shake your head and you say, bad parenting. You can say nothing but try to blame the person who raised this person doing some things.
Yes. Yeah. So, of course, the way we are parented,
Yes.
the way we are, the schools we go to,
Yes.
the environment in which we grow up,
The company we keep
yes,
and all that.
shapes us. That's a fact. So some people the only behavior they know
Yes.
is that.
Yes.
And that's it, My family is like that. In our tribe, we are like
That's
that.
how we are.
Men are like that.
Doctor, I was
Women.
hoping this cover. Oh, yes. Thank you for adding women.
Women are like that. But that's not an excuse for not being who you want to be. It's not stone. Once you become self-aware, that's why I started with self-awareness.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Once you become self-aware,
and decide that this is not what I
yes,
should
this was
be.
my uncle, my uncles, my aunties, but it's not me.
It ends with me.
It stops here. It may be a struggle
Yeah.
because it's embedded in the way I was brought up.
Yeah.
but it's not insurmountable.
No, it's not.
Yes. So I think, and then of course, as human beings, we love to live in that space where it's more comfortable to blame other people. But the most important thing is to realize that I am in charge here. I am responsible for who I am, what I do, how I behave, how I end up. I can change. I can practically erase whatever was in my background, whatever was in my upbringing. But that type of awakening doesn't come easy.
No.
Yes. It comes through the processes we go through. For the first talk I always have, or the first skill we always go through with the people who work with me, mindset change and goal setting. Those are foundational.
Yes.
Because until you have worked on your mindset, it doesn't matter. You can't change because you're still fixated in blaming whoever you want to blame for your situation. So once you realize that how it is, it doesn't have to remain like that. I have power. I have opportunity. I have resources. I can change. I can be different. I can move on. I can be better. What you are describing will not happen.
Eventually goes.
That's the good thing with soft skills. They are totally learnable.
Yes.
They are completely learnable.
Doctor, just two things before we close. One is you are, with these 12 fundamental soft skills, you're trying to reverse a lot of how someone has been wired for a period of decades of their life. Typically, how does this work? Can I say I will be transformed after reading this book? My answer is no, this is just the beginning.
Yes.
How does this course work? Does it have number of sessions? Does it vary from one person to another? How does this work? If I wake up today and I say, you know what, I need to know about these soft skills. How does someone approach your organization? What's your approach to this teaching?
Yeah. So we have the target groups I told you about.
Yes.
So for example, we have institutions.
Yes.
Secondary school institutions.
Yes.
And universities.
Yes.
So what we do, let's say with secondary schools, even if you bring a group of teachers, in 5 minutes, they will very easily tell you the gaps they see in the students. Even a quick discussion with the students themselves, they know. They will tell you, may I do this because pressure, peer pressure. I do this because my parents, the same thing you're talking about. So over time now, we have a good understanding of what a package for secondary schools is. And we have it, it's ready. But of course, we don't impose it on any school.
No.
When we sit with them, we share, and they will say, no, this is what actually they usually do is priority.
Yes.
Let's start with this one.
Yes.
Let's start with this one.
This feels like a pain point.
Yes, let's start with this one. Let's start with this one. Same thing we do with universities.
Yeah.
Like Chambogo, where we have had a long-standing MOU. We went through a process, again, to say which are the pain points for the students. And then we pulled them out. And then from there, now you can work out a training program.
Yes.
And then you can go into modules. And then you can go into training session.
That's not forgetting the teachers themselves, because they also need
we also
soft
have
skilling.
we also have programs for teachers. I've done some teacher trainings. Victoria's, our favorite school,
Yes.
is one of those where I go
Often.
and I focus on the teachers. I've had other schools where we have focused on the teachers.
Dr. Jane, does the learning of soft skills ever end? Can you say, I've taught this community, we have gone through all the modules, I think they are good? Or how does this work? Or it's a never-ending process?
It's It's a continuous process. Learning, as they say,
Never
never ends. Yes, yes. Learning never ends. But for me now, I can say that if I work, let's say I work with, let's take a company.
Yes.
I work with them over time, and we go through different sessions. We do different practicals. When they come back, we evaluate where are you,
Yes.
what are the difficulties you are facing, what you can see change.
Yes.
Yes, you can see growth. You can see improvements over time. But then, of course, like like they say, so right now in my company we have 30 modules
Wow.
ready to teach them.
Yes.
People ask me, how come there are so many? Soft skills are so many.
There's so many.
There are so many. Now, like when you learn geography, the courses are so many.
So many.
People are comfortable with geography and so many courses, but they think
But
soft skills,
30 are too many.
yes, there are too many. So there's a lot to learn, but sometimes once you build a skill in one area, it impacts on the other one.
Yes.
Yes. So somehow gradual change can happen. And then continuous learning. As long as you're varying your learning. And then if you are lucky to be able to teach it, I tell people, go back, and even if you put together your family, explain to them the thing we have just taught you. There's no better way to learn
By teaching
by
someone else.
teaching someone else.
Wow.
If we can reach that point,
Yeah.
that will be the best way.
Doctor, reaching that point is also a soft skill, because there are
Yes.
people who say, do you know how many years it took me to amass this wealth of knowledge? You want me to just pass it to you free of charge?
Yeah, I mean, as long as people are thinking free of charge, then we can't really have a conversation.
Doctor, just before we close, one last one. I know you are already exporting this this soft skills gospel to other countries, a specific neighboring country to be specific. I'm just keen to know, how was it received? What's going on there?
Yeah. So over the last year,
Yeah.
since January or so,
Yeah, beginning of year.
beginning of year, we were working through a process of getting it registered in Rwanda.
Yeah.
And eventually we got fully registered.
Wow.
We registered as, they call them a community benefit company.
Yes.
So for them, a community benefit company is a company limited by guarantee,
Yes.
but specifically for benefiting
The
communities. So that's how we are registered. So we recently launched a big launch attended by many people. Numerically not a huge number,
Yeah.
but the quality of people who came to the launch was amazing. But what really nearly brought me to tears was somebody stood up, a very important person stood up and said, if our leaders had had soft skills, genocide would never have happened.
Thank you very much.
And I nearly broke down. And everybody went quiet, like this. So for them, they see it differently because they have that experience. They believe that if you have soft skills, you can't do the type of things that happened in the genocide.
Which takes me back to what I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Can we then restate that statement and apply it home and say, if our leaders had had soft skills training, we would have better roads?
Of course. No, I mean, it's all... If
We
you
would have medicine in hospitals.
Do you know what
System.
empathy is? The skill of empathy is to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Can you imagine if we did that on a minute-by-minute basis? The world would be completely different. Just to think, what if it was me lying on that hospital bed without medicine,
for my life.
when actually the money to buy the medicine has been misappropriated. People wouldn't misappropriate.
Or it's my child, or
Yes,
it's my
or what
wife.
if it was my wife? What if it was my grandchild? So these skills, they will make you different. Even anger. When you imagine that, why am I angry? And there are skills for managing anger. If everybody's temper could be tempered, is that the right English? There would be no war. Negotiation skills. How many wars would we stop if we were able to negotiate? Listening, just active listening to somebody the proper way.
Yeah.
We would solve a lot of problems. So it's not just that our neighboring countries, even here, if people had the soft skills that they should have and applied them,
Not just have them, yes.
a lot of the problems we face would be
Wouldn't be facing
at
them.
the family level, at the national level, in the hospitals. Can you imagine if everybody in the hospital was professional? And professionalism is a skill. And a driver can be more professional than the boss they are driving.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Our viewers and listeners, I don't think we could end this conversation on more intimate or higher note. But before we go, Doctor, is there anything you would want to share that we've probably not touched on, something on your heart that we've probably not touched on?
Yeah. So, of course, with soft skills, I think it's everybody's responsibility.
Yeah.
I can't move mountains. Yeah. Right now, I'm like a voice in the wilderness. I speak, I try my best. But I think we should all see them as our responsibility. Make sure that you start from your own home. Make sure that you are a role model of these skills to people.
Yes.
If there's an opportunity to learn, make sure you learn them. But also make sure that, for example, I don't think it's fair to support a degree and then there's a session on soft skills and this particular student has no money to attend.
I know.
I say, God Almighty. So be flexible.
Yeah.
Be flexible. Let the students be able to pursue their degree. But if there are opportunities for soft skills, support them, fund them, give them money to attend these skills. This book, buy it. Let it be your Bible.
Yeah.
Let it be on the table. You yourself, you may not read it, but your child might.
Yeah.
Your visiting cousin might read it and it might change their lives. So I think we need to just mind-wise start thinking that there's no way that we can live without these skills. AI won't replace them. That's the good thing. Proven. There's no way AI is going to bring the human part.
Doctor, if we may speak to AI, someone said, oh gosh, I remember the exact example they used, but for example, AI will tell you that I drank this coffee in whatever I did and all that, but it won't tell you why I drank the coffee.
Exactly. And how I felt.
Or how I felt when I was drinking it.
Or the love I expressed for someone who gave me the coffee. It can't do that.
Yes, that's so true. Yeah. Our viewers and listeners, I will drop Dr. Jen's contact, email address, phone number for rounding out the edges in the description below. If you feel you want to have a soft skills conversation, whether you're just inquiring or you feel you're sold already, I'll drop it in the comments below and maybe even to ask how to access this book, all that. Reach out to her, have a conversation, and see. I mean, for me, my biggest takeaway is if our leaders had had soft skills training, the genocide would never have happened. For me, that is as deep as it gets. And that could apply across the board in every way, big or small. until the next episode of Business Chronicles. Thank you so much, Dr. Jen, for sparing your time to be here. I'm glad to host you at Studio 84. I know we'll be back. You and I have a lot to talk about. One of the soft skills, if reading is not your soft skill, then listening is. We may have to audiobook this thing for people who want to listen to it than read it. Our viewers and listeners, until the next episode, I'll see you then. Thank you very much.